Good morning, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 1915 Southeast Harney Street here in Portland. We're located at the front of the home, and I describe things as if you are standing in the street facing the front of the house. So we are to the right of the doorway, smack dab in front of the garage door here. Under a little brass cover plate, you've got a 3-inch, it's got a PVC cap on it, but it's actually a 3-inch ABS line here. Actually, that opens up big enough. That's 4-inch pipe there. Even better. Anyway, we're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Water is a-running. We're going to zero out the foot counter here at the base of the cleanout. We'll run the camera out to the street, turn the water off here, and then once the line's fully drained, we'll also run the camera backwards. All right, off we go here. Making a transition here to 4-inch 3034 PVC pipe. Kudos to the homeowners for keeping the line clean. There is very, very little to no buildup, most notably no grease buildup in the line. It's very nice to see. And keeping grease out of your pipe is a living habit I highly recommend keeping up with. It makes your line much, much more forgiving under abusive scenarios. You know, or when kids are wadding up toilet paper balls, things like that. And this line, I've cameraed over 25,000 sewer lines at this point in my career. This type of setup here, where the line comes out down below grade, I would probably 90% of them, whether they're brand new or 100 years old, this type of arrangement almost always results in a belly in the sewer line. For whatever reason, I don't know. Even when the main's 15 feet deep, you've got way more room than you need to grade the line. That's typically what you get. Whoever installed this thing did a magnificent job doing it. It's not an easy thing to do. This thing does not appear to have a drop of standing water anywhere in it. So anyhow, we're at the main here. We're gonna go locate really quick here while the pipe drains off. We'll pull back, take another look at everything. All right, waiting for the line to drain off right now, but while that's happening here, I was able to locate the camera head successfully. Line terminates on Southeast Harney Street, and the line here essentially does a dead straight shot from the cleanout all the way to the main lateral. If you draw an imaginary line from the cleanout to the middle of the street, that is essentially the path the line takes. And if you go stand out in the road and face back of the house, in line with the cleanout access, you'll see a little green plastic circle, little curb marker. That little green plastic curb stamp there is where the line crosses into the street, and whoever did it actually did a good job. It's dead center over the top of the line. I see a lot of those where they're off by a little bit, and so that was done properly. All right, the line's down to a relatively low trickle right now. We're going to keep pulling back. It sounds like there is a washing machine going in the house, so I want to try and pull back in here before we get a big, huge blast of water coming down the line. Oh, there we go. It's actually in the process of discharging, so we're going to let that drain off here for a second. All right. Just a little water moving through the line here. Nothing that's blocking our view of anything. Yeah, this is remarkable. I would have bet you $100 this would have had a belly in it. I'm amazed how well this was graded. Again, moving water there coming past the camera. If we were to hit something like a belly, especially with water running, it becomes very obvious. The water line will start going up above the camera lens really quick. All the PVC pipe looks fantastic, drains off beautifully, transition joint looks good. So, and if you are new to home ownership, I'm going to go kind of slow here just to make sure I'm not missing any standing water. I cannot believe how much fall I got on this line. It's amazing. It must be I can tell it's a very, very deep main because I have a hard time even locating it. So that was a big help. This line's coming out, you know, same depth as a basement, your average basement house. But for whatever reason, even a basement line, standard basement houses have a far less chance for a belly. Anytime you get this scenario where the line comes out very visibly below grade, I don't know why it always results in a belly, but it almost always does. All right, everything from the clean out access to the main lateral connection is in great condition, spotless clean, and functioning properly at this time. So we got a little bit of water still coming to the line right now. I'm going to push back in here a little ways. All right, next down to 3-inch pipe. Right as we start going backwards. And the camera right now is upside down. I don't know why it feels like not orienting today. So what we actually did there is, as the line goes back into the garage, it turns towards the left side wall of the garage. Anyhow, back to the grease thing. I'm a big stickler on it. After the amount of drain cleaning I've done and scopes I've done, grease buildup is an extremely common culprit as it relates to lines that back up and or blockages that result in a full-on backup. So I like to make sure people are well educated on it. If you've got enough grease or oil on your pans, if you take that pan and turn it sideways, this is mostly when the pan is hot or warm. There's enough on there that it runs off the pan in beads or worse. It's at that point you want to start doing something about it. Either pour it into a glass jar or metal can while it's still liquid, something that won't melt, and or you let the grease oil cool down completely, and then you scrape it off into a garbage can, pour it in a garbage, and or wipe it out with a paper towel. If you've got a thin little coating of PAM spray on a pan, that's no big deal. Hot water and soap handles that just fine. And if you know some amount is getting down the line, always use hot water and soap. Hot water is important though. If you know a bit of it got down the line, keep your hot water running for a full minute after your last dish was scrubbed off. That helps to ensure that that water remains nice and hot and carries that grease and oil as far as it can from the house before cooling down. Especially a line like this, it's underground most of the way. That water starts cooling off really quickly when you shut the water off too quick. So grease will start hardening up really fast. Anyway, that's kind of a decent guideline to live by that will mitigate most grease buildup, and you keep the line looking spiffy just like this thing. So, and if you have little kids in the household, it's a very, very helpful thing to do. Is kids often ball up toilet paper. Your line being clean makes it much more forgiving under those scenarios. Your blockages are a lot more likely to break loose on their own. Anyhow, fantastic flow end to end. There is zero standing water anywhere in the sewer line. Any water we did see running in the line there was all flowing. Oh, magnificent looking sewer. And I've cameraed this exact same house design. I cannot tell you how many times at this point. Same setup with the garage that dips down below street level. I think this might be the first one I've seen so far that does not have a belly in it. So, very well done. Line is functioning properly at this time.